Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Last week, former UN Ambassador John Bolton made a very attention-getting statement in an interview in Israel. Ambassador Bolton said, "The Barack Obama administration is the most anti-Israel president in the history of the state without any question." And he's saying that because of the way that the president has dealt with Israel in the past, and the way that he would expect that they're going to Israel and deal with Israel in the future, in a hard and a harsh way. He went on to say the Obama administration's real plan B for Iranian nuclear weapons program is that it can be contained and deterred in much as we contained and deterred the Soviet Union during the Cold War. He goes on to say that while we have the capacity in the United States to neutralize their nuclear capability, that we don't have the resolve, and with this administration, we don't have the will. He says Israel does have that capacity and may at some point see it as an existential threat and have to do something about it. Bolton went on to say, if you think Iran's behavior is bad now, imagine what it will be if it gets nuclear capability. I think we are all sleepwalking past this. There's no question but what there is a delusional denial of what Israel faces as far as the Palestinians are concerned. They've declared what they want, and that's the elimination of the state of Israel. Iran has said they should be wiped off the face of the earth, wiped off the map. But we're not going to do anything about it. And if Israel does anything about it, they will continue to be dealt with harshly and hardly. On the other hand, unfortunately, and these emphases seem to go together, on the other hand, there is a softness toward jihadists, the jihadists among the Palestinians, the jihadists in Iran. There's an article on our webpage just now, and I would encourage you to read it. It's written by Frank Gaffney from the Center for Security Policy. It's entitled Fleeing Al-Qaeda, Department of Justice Moves to Cut a Prison Term of Alamoody. This indeed is a travesty of justice, and he notes this in his article. He says, just when you thought it was not possible for Attorney General Eric Holder's Justice Department to become any more hostile to the national homeland security interests of the American people, along comes yet another travesty, and this indeed is a travesty. This one threatens both, as it apparently would involve turning loose in America. This man is an American citizen. He's applied for and received it in the past. A convicted terrorist known to be a top Muslim Brotherhood operative and Al-Qaeda financier, Abdullah Alamoody. Remember that name, Abdullah Alamoody. Gaffney quotes an AP piece that says, federal prosecutors are asking a judge to cut the 23 years prison term being served by an American Muslim activist who admitted participation in a Libyan plot to assassinate King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia. Not only did he do that, is he an Al-Qaeda financier, but this strikes very close to home for me. He was the endorsing agent for Muslim chaplains. All denominations have to have an endorser. They validate the credentials of those who minister in their denomination. And he validated the credentials of Muslim chaplains prior to his imprisonment. And lo and behold, wouldn't you expect it, there were at least two of those, one for sure, that was revealed to be an Al-Qaeda operative in the military chaplaincy. So this is indeed an outrage, and as Gaffney goes on to point out, he says, so what possible justification could the Holder Justice Department have for releasing such an individual just 9 years into the 23-year sentence? The AP story notes that, quote, the documents explaining why prosecutors want to cut Alamoody's sentence are under seal, but such reductions are allowed only when a defendant provides substantial assistance to the government. We can only speculate, Gaffney observes, we can only speculate about what such assistance might be. This is an outrage. This is unconscionable that a known convicted terrorist is going to be released on the American populace once again. we need to do something about it. We need to rise up and face this challenge. I would suggest three things. Number one, we're encouraged as Christians to pray for those in authority. We've sought wisdom. We've besought God for discernment and guidance for our leaders. There is no evidence that that is coming with regard to much of what the Obama administration stands for. Here's what I say pray for. Pray for their restraint and their constraint, and pray for the replacement as elected officials. Number two, write your congressman, call him, get on the email, ask him to contact the Department of Justice and ask why Alamoody is being released. Get an answer from the Justice Department on this. And thirdly, contact your news media. Contact your local news media. Contact your state news media. Contact the national. Chris Matthews ought to be all over this, whether he will or not. Wolf Blitzer should initiate investigative report on this. Sean Hannity should have some people in to explain what's going on here. Contact your news media on it. Let's not wait. This is an outrage. This is a challenge to our existence. Let's do it now. So, until next week, Od Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.